At some point in the last several thousand years, humanity made a decision. The decision was simply this: that humans would spend the majority of their waking lives pressing their bottom halves against a raised, flat surface and calling it civilization. The object responsible for this is the chair. Despite being arguably the most politically loaded object in the history of human culture, an artifact that has started wars, defined empires, and quietly ruined the lower backs of approximately 8 billion people, almost nobody thinks about it at all. This is the story of the chair. The first chairs appeared in ancient Egypt around 2700 BCE, and they were not, as it turned out, for everyone. They were made for pharaohs. The Egyptian civilization, a culture capable of constructing monuments so large and so precisely aligned that we are still, several thousand years later, making documentaries with suspicious theories about them, looked at the entire furniture problem and concluded that the most important thing to solve was,
where do the best people put their bottom?
The answer, somewhere spectacular. The throne of Tutankhamun, discovered in his tomb in 1922, is inlaid with gold and even semi-precious stones to make a reasonable person feel quite bad about their own chair. Regular Egyptians, for the record, sat on the floor. This was considered entirely appropriate because they were not pharaohs. The Greeks developed a more elegant version called the klizmos, a light, graceful chair with curved legs and a gently backward-sloping back, which appeared on pottery, sculpture, and frescoes with a frequency that suggests the Greeks were either very proud of it or simply ran out of other things to draw. Important people sat in them. Everyone else sat on stools. Rome made the whole thing official. Roman magistrates were assigned a chair called the sella curulus, a folding seat made of ivory. Rome had bureaucratized the chair. While Europe was busy weaponizing furniture, the majority of the world had reached a different conclusion. Specifically, that the floor was already there, was largely free of charge, and worked perfectly well. The Japanese developed an architectural system built entirely around not needing chairs. Tatami mats covered the floors of Japanese homes. Furniture was scaled accordingly. Low tables, floor cushions, sleeping mats that were rolled away in the morning. The formal sitting posture, seiza, was refined to a degree that made European chair sitting look, frankly, sloppy by comparison. Korea went further still. The ondol underfloor heating system circulated heat through channels carved beneath stone floors. The floor was, quite literally, warm. Chairs, in this context, are just expensive ways to get slightly further from the heat. Across the Middle East, South Asia, and significant portions of Africa, the floor was the primary social arena. Returning to Europe, where the chair had by now become something approaching a religion. In the medieval Great Hall, the arrangement was simple and, to modern eyes, remarkably honest. The Lord sat in a chair. Everyone else sat on benches, or stools, or stood, or some combination of the three, depending on how the evening was going. Royal thrones were an entirely separate category of object. The coronation chair at Westminster Abbey, built around 1300, is a masterpiece of contained menace. Every English monarch since Edward II has been crowned in it, which means it has, for over 700 years, been the specific chair that turns a person into a king or queen. This is an astonishing amount of power for a piece of furniture that is, objectively, not very comfortable. To sit in an enemy's throne was conquest. To be removed from your own was catastrophe. So when did the throne stop mattering? The honest answer is, slowly, awkwardly, and with considerable disagreement. England's Glorious Revolution in 1688 established, somewhat firmly, that the king governed by law rather than divine right. The French Revolution in 1789 made a rather more direct point, the details of which are available in most history books under the heading Reasons Not to Ignore the Population. Through the 19th century, constitutional monarchy spread across Europe like a polite but persistent cold. By the end of the 20th century, most European thrones were ceremonial, used for state occasions, photographed. The throne did not disappear, it simply became, in the technical sense, a prop, which is, for an object that once determined the fate of civilizations, a very, very long way to fall. The Industrial Revolution solved the chair the same way it solved most things, by making so many of them that they stopped being special. Before the 1800s, a chair was handmade, skilled labor, quality materials, considerable expense. Then came the factories.
Hello there.
A Viennese cabinet maker named Michael Thonet developed a process for bending wood with steam, which allowed chairs to be produced at industrial scale and shipped around the world. The parlor chair, the dining chair, the reading chair, the chair you sit in when guests arrive, the chair you don't sit in because it belongs to someone who isn't there anymore and it feels strange. Meanwhile, somewhere between the Industrial Revolution and the invention of the telephone, offices happened. As commerce expanded and paperwork multiplied, which it always does because paperwork is self-replicating, the need arose for large numbers of people to sit at desks for extended periods and produce documents. The chair was no longer a symbol of power or an expression of status. It was equipment. The chair is, when you examine it, one of the more improbable success stories in the history of human objects. But the biggest joke? Each innovation solved the problem created by the previous one, which was that humans were not, it turned out, designed to sit in chairs for 10 hours a day, and chairs were not, it turned out, designed with humans in mind. The average adult in a developed nation sits for approximately 9 to 10 hours per day. The chair, which began as a symbol of divine authority exclusive to rulers, priests, and the cosmically significant, has now been in continuous use for so long and by so many people that the primary concern it generates is whether it is slowly killing us. The pharaohs sat to demonstrate their mastery over the world. We sit to process the world's emails. Somewhere between those 2 points, something went quite wrong.
Flashback. End of flashback.
Though it is difficult to say exactly when, or whether anyone noticed at the time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill. Our merch shop is live. Use INF World 04 for 50% off. That's 50% off. Linked below. It's a good code. You should use it. And keep sitting, but not like that, though.